So the first thing you want to do is take your 22mm socket and just take these off by hand. And then you'll also want to use some jack stands as well, just to be safe, especially when you're doing it on gravel like I am on a non-paved surface. Then we'll get our lug nuts out of the way. And then what you'll want to do is get an 18mm socket, and there's a bolt right here, and then there's also one right down there. And we're going to loosen both those up, and it might not be a bad idea, or might make it a little bit easier to have a breaker bar as well, because sometimes those can be pretty. And then you'll take the breaker bar just to get it loosened up, break it loose, and then we'll want to do the bottom one right here. It's also going to be a 18mm. Break it loose, and then we'll take these all the way out. So once you get it loosened up, then you should be able to do it by hand. And this is going to be greased, so it might not be a bad idea to put it on the inside of your wheel cover, just so it doesn't get dirty getting on the ground. Then we'll take off our other one that we loosened up, take it all the way out. Then after you get this all the way out, then your caliper should theoretically be able to come off, but usually it's pretty tight on there. So what helps is to actually bang on it a little bit. It'll help loosen it up. You're not going to hurt that big caliper. Get those bolts off. You're going to want to bang on this caliper. And then just kind of work it. Yeah, look how and then can even take a screwdriver just up against the pistons, just to get them loosened up a little bit.
Take the cap off your brake fluid.
And then I put that up against the screwdriver up against the piston. And then once you get off that caliper, then just let that caliper hang, and then your pads will just slide right off. See, they're on those on these tabs, just like that. And usually your inside pad, the one closest to the wheel, might be pretty good. Like this pad looks like it's still got quite a bit of life left in it, but as you can see, the inside pad on the inside, it's going to be harder to see, has 0 life left in it, and the tab's rubbing on this one. So after you do that, take those off. You're not going to need those anymore since those are old pads. Then you're going to get your new pads, which are linked up in the description below. And the cheapest place to get them by far is off of Amazon. Way cheaper than your auto parts store, especially if you have Prime. And then right here, so now that we got our new pads, they're linked up in the description below. Amazon is the cheapest place to get them. They're going to slide in right here on these metal tabs. So this side's a little bit harder one to get them in. You can kind of take your breaker bar and make sure you get them on all the way, which we did. And then you're going to put on your inside pad. And get that on right like that. And then what we're going to have to do is take, this is a 4-inch clamp, and we're going to have to use it to push in our pistons, since our new pads are obviously a lot thicker than our old ones. So as you can see, you got the piston right there. Take this 4-inch clamp and push in each one of those pistons.
Oh shit, your jack got fucked up.
So, and then we'll push in the other one, and in the process of pushing in the other piston, it'll probably push out the piston that you just pushed in just a little bit, but that's fine because the pistons don't have to be pressed all the way in, as long as they're most of the way in. As you can see, the further I tighten up that one, so then we'll come over here, just push that one in just a little bit. Now that we got our pistons pressed in, we're gonna take this and we're gonna put right back on our caliper. Was just making sure that I have those little rubber deals all lined up. So then we're gonna get one bolt started, the top one. And then just get the threads barely started on it, just like that, with a couple cranks. Then we'll put on the bottom caliper bolt back in. Then we'll thread this one all the way in, but we won't tighten it down quite all the way yet. Just good and snug. Then get the other one snug, and you can actually go ahead and tighten this one up. We'll go ahead and tighten this one all the way up, get it good and tight. Then we'll go ahead and tighten up the bottom one. Get it good and tight. Alrighty, so now we got our new pads all the way on. The next thing we're gonna want to do is put back on our wheel, and you're going to repeat the same exact process for the other side. You're obviously going to want to do both sides, even if one side's only making noise. Then we'll just thread. Four of these on by hand.